This is the Horse Radio Network. This is episode 232 of Horse Tip Daily, a different horse tip, a different equine topic, a different equestrian expert every day. Horse Tip Daily brings the world of equine knowledge to you one day at a time. Today's tip is sponsored by FeedXL. Visit them at feedxl.com. Enjoy today's tip. I'm Glenn McGee from Lexington, Kentucky, and you're listening to Horse Tip Daily. Well, today we have back with us one of the most popular guest co-hosts on the eventing radio show, and that's Boyd Martin. Boyd Martin's always a hit, especially with the girls. He's an international eventer who now makes his home and competes for the United States. Boyd's very colorful and well-liked in the eventing world, and of course you can go back and listen to his past tips that we took off the eventing radio show. This tip is taken from episode 87 of the Eventing Radio Show, and if you'd like to hear the whole rest of the show with Boyd, you can take a listen at eventingradio.com. And first, before we get to Boyd, I wanted to speak about our new friends at FeedXL. I'm so excited about our newest sponsor, FeedXL. One of the most confusing parts of owning a horse is what to feed it, what supplements to use of the thousands that are available on the market, what hay to use, how much do I feed my horse. And, there's always more questions than answers when it comes to feeding your horse. Now there's a solution, and that's FeedXL. FeedXL is the online feeding and nutrition software that answers all these questions and more. You simply tell FeedXL what your horse's specific details are, including its workload, whether it's an easy or hard keeper, and if it has any nutrition-related diseases. And FeedXL will guide the development of a diet that will meet its nutrition needs perfectly. FeedXL has the nutritional information for over 2,000 United States feeds. They keep them in their database to provide you with the most up-to-date diet analysis. FeedXL is simple to use and accurate and allows you to subscribe online for as little as $15. My wife and I and others that we know, we had check it out, make sure it was a legitimate program, and we love this program. You can check it out at feedxl.com. See if you're feeding your horse enough or too much at feedxl.com.
But first of all, Boyd, we want to talk about building up a partnership and how that takes time. Whether it's a brand new horse you've bought or you're just taking over a ride from that you've gotten used to from someone else's horse, maybe you've known and watched. Whichever way you approach it, whichever way you get connected with that horse, it takes a while to develop and build and bond with that partnership, doesn't it?
Absolutely, Chris. It's very similar to getting married to a woman, or a man if you're a woman or a gay guy, one or the other. You gotta jump into it and get to know each other a little bit and go along and learn each other's traits and your habits and what you're all about, and then learn to work with each other. I've bought and competed horses for a long time now, and it amazes me how long it takes to actually work each other out a bit. I don't think we really get to know each other before 2 years, Chris. And it's a hard thing to get your mind around. Like if you're a rider and you purchase a training horse or a prelim horse from another rider, you're crazy if you think you're going to get the same sort of partnership that the same rider got after a couple of weeks. It really takes a long time to work each other out and get to know each other's traits. And if you're buying a horse that's already going at a level, I'd really take more time than you think you need to get back to the level that the horse is already competing at. It takes time. You've got to learn each other's positives and negatives, your habits and the good things and the bad things, and all the weird and wonderful things that bonds us together in a partnership as an event horse and event rider. And it's just a recipe for disaster if you're trying to accelerate that process.
And we should remind everyone that the Mark Todds of this world are very few and far between that get on a catch ride on a Tuesday and win badminton by the end of the week. That doesn't happen every day.
No, absolutely not, Chris. I've tried that a few times and it's been disastrous. So, it's one of those things where I think, your basic rule of thumb is to take longer than you think you need, and And if you're going off and buying an intermediate horse or a prelim horse, don't think you're ready to compete at that level. Like just chill out and get to know each other and work out the buttons to press and how each of you like to be treated out on the in the jumping field and the dressage ring, and then figure each other out. And if you just take a little bit of extra time there, Chris, it works out for the better. And if you try and rush that process, you end up getting divorced.
It's a good way to put it, Boyd. And I think importantly, it's a psychological arrangement too. It's an emotional, mental connection with the horse. It isn't just physical and its state of competency or level of training. It's that psychological connection that he or she has to accept the way you're riding him, and it's all change for him.
Absolutely, like it's a confidence thing, Chris. Like you got to be confident in your horse and know what they're going to do at the water jump or the ditch or the bank, and the horse has actually got to be confident in you. How hard he needs or she needs to be ridden to a fence, and how much warm up she needs for the dressage, or and even weird stuff like trailing it, shipping it to the event. Does your horse like boots or no boots, or hay or no hay, or whatever. There's so many just wickedly variable factors to get the best result out of you and your horse. And if you try and rush that process, it doesn't work. It's just hit and miss. And if it comes off, it's just lucky, basically.
And you have to think of it as a long-term investment too. I mean, if you meet the right partner in life, it's worth taking your time, and the same applies for a horse.
Oh, absolutely. It's it's not a cheap hooker that you're hiring for the night. It's a long-term partner that you're hopefully going to be eventing for a long time.
Only you could have put it that way, Boyd, and I. In a nutshell. Well, there you have it from Boyd Martin. Good advice on building up a partnership very gradually. Just take your time. Well, thanks, Boyd.
Well, I told you Boyd is always colorful. You can always count on that. Thanks, Boyd and Chris, for providing the tips from the Eventing Radio Show. This was Eventing Radio, episode 87. If you'd like to hear Boyd's comments, it was one of his more colorful shows. If you want to hear his comments, tune in at eventingradio.com, episode number 87. He has me laughing every time. Don't forget to check out all the other great shows on the network at horseradionetwork.com. That's a place where you can find them all in one place. But every show does have its own website as well. I'll be back again tomorrow with another new expert and a different horse tip. Until then, have a safe ride, everyone.